Okay, so here's how I access the TCU on my 2015 Nissan Leaf Tecna. This is right-hand drive, so there are other videos, quite a few, showing what you do for the left-hand drive car. I can show this a bit faster than real time because I've got a lot of the screws out already. So step one is to go under the edge of the dash where there are two plastic quick release clips. One is over here and one is here. You just turn those quarter of a turn and they release. Then you can pull down this panel under the dash. It's sort of tethered at the back. You just kind of let it dangle down on the pedals. Okay, then there's a screw which is down here below the bonnet release. Yeah, which you would unscrew. Okay, then you also need to lift up this center console pocket tray, which just snaps in. Maybe mine's easier than usual to get out because I've had it out a few times. You just lever it up to release the clips and shift that slightly to the side, and then you can pull this lower part of the dash, which goes from kind of steering wheel level downwards. You can pull that towards you here by the center console at the bottom. Then you should take off this panel on the end of the dash. Again, it just clips in. You lever out the side nearest to you and then pull it towards you. That kind of just gives you a bit of access to the clips on this side. So it should then just unclip just by pulling towards you. And then the last bit is where the start-stop button is. You pull that again towards you, and the whole panel just kind of comes down. It's tethered by lots of cables, electric cables, and also the bonnet release cable, which is like a Bowden cable. So you can't move it too far. Again, it just dangles. But now you can see in front of you, kind of directly behind the switch that you would press to release the charging port, is a bracket, which is a quite solid steel bracket. On the left hand side of it is the TCU, and on the right hand side is a module which I believe controls the parking cameras, you know, the two door mirror cameras and the front and rear cameras. And you need to get that bracket out, and is harder than it sounds. First thing is that it has three screws. So it has two on the front, here and here, that are rather kind of obvious. And then it has one at the top, but further back, about about 100 millimeters further back than the front, and it's kind of hard to see because it's in the dark up there. It's right near the top of the bracket, kind of maybe with my screwdriver I can show you where it is. So it is there. You undo those 3 screws, and the bracket is hooked on like many other of these module brackets. So you want to push it up a bit and then it unhooks, and it will kind of dangle down, but it has a whole load of cables attached to it. It has the easiest one is the one on the left side. It's so hard to show anything. There's a cable low down on the left side. Here. Which is, I think, the antenna. And that's fairly straightforward to unplug. That from that little plug on the left there, there's a very short piece of cable that goes to the back of the module, but you don't need to unplug that from the module, because if you've unplugged the one near the front here, that antenna cable is also clipped to the bracket, and I was able to squeeze that clip with pliers and unclip it. That's the easy one. Okay, then there is also, if I go down under the dash, I may be able to show you the one you can see there in the middle of the picture, the one at the bottom. That's the plugs into this camera module. And unplug that, but you can see it also has a clip around the duct that the wires are in, which I had to cut the back of it. I couldn't unsnap it from its hole, so I cut it, and I'll tie it on with a cable tie after. And then on the back of the module, which you can't, you have to unplug them by feel, there are 2 connectors. At the back of the module, one near the top, one near the middle, which you need to unplug by feel, and that is kind of tricky. But here's a back view of the module showing where the connectors are. Okay, so now I've got the TCU out. We open this, you can see this in other videos people have made. Open this one screw, open the hatch, and you can see the SIM card in a little holder which you push. There's a hinge somewhere. You push that little metal bar towards the top of the writing on the nameplate, and then the whole thing hinges up. Take it. Okay, there it is. Its holder. Fold the holder down. Slide the metal bar away from the hinge. And that's it, I hope. Put the lid back on. Screw down the screw. And now we're ready to put it back in the car, which I really hope will be easier than it was taking it out.